Up. There we go.
There it is.
Hey now. It's this is live podcasting, everybody. Hey now. It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM and 103gbfrocks.com alongside my tag team partner in podcasting this week. Please welcome back to the show the very handsome Travis Sams.
And I did not pay you to say that.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So before we get started, I wanted to are you still doing stuff with New Focus?
They're taking a little bit of a hiatus, trying to, rebrand.
Oh, okay. So are they taking a break?
They're taking a break. They're trying to rebrand and get a new venue, and
that's right.
Be
that's what
back
I heard.
in business before too much longer.
Yeah, I'm excited for them to get back up and running here soon in Indiana. In the meantime, I wanted to tell you about something going on in my life that I don't know if I'm embarrassed or proud to admit this.
Oh,
but as a wrestling fan, you may appreciate this. So, as you notice, I'm wearing a kind of random D-Generation X shirt.
Yes.
So I should maybe be embarrassed about this, but here's what happened. So you're going to see me wearing a whole lot of new wrestling shirts here over the coming weeks, months, days, because I went through the clearance section of WWEshop.com.
Yeah.
21 shirts. I ordered 21 shirts. All of them for so somewhere as low as like $250, and so the most expensive I ordered was $8.99.
So are they all like WrestleMania shirts? Because that was a WrestleMania.
A lot of them are, yeah. So the back this says D-Generation X, kind of like an old Road Dogg one, and the back says I think it says 2 words, NOLA.
NOLA, yep.
Yeah, for New Orleans, Louisiana. So there's a bunch of WrestleMania ones, like a lot of guys who aren't around anymore, kind of stuff, but just and there are a lot of really cool I got some 8-bit Jake the Snake Roberts and Dusty Rhodes ones.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to start seeing me unveiling some really cool shirts that I just got, because every time you get a new Rock shirt from Meyer, I'm always I'm so jealous because he's got this rare Rock shirt.
Man, I bought something for my best friend's wedding that would make you extremely jealous.
Please.
So I was the best man, and I knew they were going to have, whenever the bridal party is going to make their grand entrance, they're going to have us do something funny. So I was at Coconuts the other day, and I found something that I had to buy. Very much of an impulsive purchase. They had a replica of Ric Flair robe.
No kidding.
And they had a Macho Man one too, but I totally got the Ric Flair replica robe.
Well, the Ric Flair robes were known to cost $20,000.
This one wasn't. This one's like $60.
It wasn't $20,000.
It wasn't $20,000, but it looked cool. So
does Coconut still have stuff like that?
It was on their clearance section, so they might.
So that's what I wanted to let you know. And so I spent, let's see, between 2 purchases, it was all less than $200.
Oh, that's not bad
for 21
shirts. Yeah.
And two shipping, because I ordered 2 different times.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna start seeing. I'm talking random Southpaw wrestling stuff.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Bam Bam Bigelow T-shirt on the way. I mean, it's some random stuff I'm about to unveil on people.
That's pretty awesome, though.
So should I be proud or embarrassed about that?
Hey, you saved a lot of money while shopping in the clearance section. I would be proud.
A plain white T-shirt for $2.50 is not a bad deal, and then throw the fact that it's an official merchandise from WWE on there.
I would take that.
Did you watch Raw last night?
I did.
So lots to talk about. I don't know where you're at on the current product. I was really, really disappointed with the build to Elimination Chamber, but for the past, I'll say 3 weeks.
Elimination Chamber.
I'm sorry.
Extreme Rules?
No.
Or Money in the Bank?
That's the one.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, Elimination Chamber also sucked, but the build to Money in the Bank, really disappointing. But I feel like the week before that go home show, they've been putting on good show after good show after good show, and I want to know what you think about that.
They were heating up the closer they got to it, but yeah, it did. The ride up to Money in the Bank was it wasn't that good. I wasn't excited about a lot of matches.
No, I'm so tired of this gimmick of we're going to spend every moment of Raw and SmackDown determining who qualifies for a spot in a multi-person match at the pay-per-view.
I think, you can dedicate one show to that.
Right.
But afterwards, yeah, then you can have the guys who's in there feud.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with that.
Give
but
us a reason to want to see him fight. That's great.
yeah, I was a little surprised with some of the outcomes from Money in the Bank, but it wasn't bad.
No, I thought the show was, I gave it a C plus.
Yeah.
It was just slightly better than average. Did something stand out as being surprising to you?
I was really counting on, I thought The Miz was going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match for sure.
Oh, you were dedicated to that.
I really thought The Miz was going to win that.
I had Joe going, but it was really, that was one, there was no one I was like, this person has to win.
And the thing with that match was, I remember telling my friend DJ that I'm not going to be mad if any one of these guys wins. I can make an argument for every single one of these guys to actually win. I think it was one of the biggest Money in the Bank matches in history for something like that.
Yeah, it was one of those examples where anybody could have gone over and made sense. And then, so let's talk about Raw last night, which is kind of the reason why everybody's here. And we've got some viewers in here. So thank you guys for sticking through that clumsy opening. We appreciate everybody watching. So I have to tell you, this was the thought I had last week, and hearing Kurt say it again this week. Nothing sounds more unorganized, boring, and dull than referring to the main event of Extreme Rules as, quote, a multi-person match.
Yeah. That whole thing just threw me off. And even then, I would even go back to Money in the Bank and say, when you think about a main event, WWE Championship should have been the main event. I'm still a firm believer in that, because you could have given the opportunity for the men's Money in the Bank match winner to cash in.
So I go back and forth on this. Like, I definitely agree that the title should be the focus, but there are some shows where it's just not. And I feel like since the writers know what the pacing of the show is going to be, if you want to end on a high note, I'm okay with that. Like, for example, I was at WrestleMania 18. It was one of my favorite moments as a wrestling fan. People remember the main event as being Rock and Hogan.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was somewhere in the middle. I would have really enjoyed that match at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was not a huge fan of AJ and Nakamura this past. It wasn't a bad match, but Last Man Standing never has done it for me.
No, but there was a clear winner for this match. You know, every other match has been some kind of thing that was a hiccup, but
I was okay with the way they did this. And again, like, you know, like going back to the Royal Rumble where people were questioning why why the women went on last.
Well, it's a big event.
Right.
And then you got Ronda coming out.
Correct. So it's like the crowd doesn't know that's going to happen, but the writers do.
Yeah.
So I trust them sometimes. And I do think while the title match ideally in a perfect world should always be last, there are extenuating circumstances where it doesn't always have to be, if you ask me.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I just go back to thinking, when was the last time the WWE Championship was the main focus?
Well, okay,
that's supposed to be the most prominent title in the business, right?
That's the problem of having two of them.
Yes.
I feel like I'm not a fan of having the two world titles, or Universal and a world title. When you give someone a world title, you're saying you're the best in the world,
right?
And we're giving that to two people, and that really devalues.
I agree completely.
So,
but as far as like Brock Lesnar being, I'm ready for him to drop it.
I think everybody is.
And then the tweet, or I guess it was a tweet by Paul Heyman. Did you read the tweet?
Well, the tweet was a work, wasn't it? What did it?
I believe it was a work. Yeah. I mean, basically just talking about how there's no competition and how none of these guys are on Brock's level. And he mentions Roman and he mentions Bobby Lashley, and which is the reason why both of those guys were out there. But I don't know. Like, at one point they were going to have the match. Now they're not going to have the match. The multi-person.
That exciting multi-person match.
Yeah.
The following contest is a multi-person match to determine the number. Like, it's just not. It's not exciting.
Give me Roman and Lashley. Give me those two guys. Winner gets the shot at Lesnar.
So a few more things about this is, like, first of all, it's very sloppy to me and very unorganized.
Yes.
For them to totally delete what they did last week.
Yeah.
And then secondly, if we're even, you know, from a wrestling is real standpoint, how in the world can Brock Lesnar, what was the term they used? I wrote it down. Hold on a second. There was a contractual snag with Brock Lesnar in a match he wasn't even in. This was a match to determine who would face him.
Would face him at a later date.
Right.
Yes.
So how could there be a contractual snag with Brock Lesnar?
You're saying Brock Lesnar does not have to defend his championship?
But how could we can have a match to determine who's going to defend? That is the dumbest.
I agree completely.
Justification for anything. But I do want to say this. So I don't know how often you watch this show. Jerry especially is, and me too, but Jerry's more vocal about it. We don't like, when it comes to Lashley, I don't want to say I don't like Lashley because I'm not there yet. But he's had a big problem with being really smiley.
Yeah. He's not coming off as the legit badass as he is. He's not there.
Well, I feel like last week someone got a hold of him and he was not all smiles last night.
It was a different side, but at the same time, I still wasn't believing everything he was saying.
Okay, and I agree with you there. But I think we're both right. Like, he's not where he needs to be yet as far
he's
as
getting there.
Intimidating badass goes, but way further than he was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
If you ask me, someone got a hold of him and says, "Hey, man."
I bet it was one of his 3 sisters.
You think the one with 12 fingers?
I'm assuming that's probably what it was. Yeah.
I think the one with 12 got all 12 fingers on him was like,
look here, Bobby.
You don't look intimidating when you're smiling all the time. And he doesn't. And that's
no.
I mean, look at the guy. He looks like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But he's just not nearly as intimidating.
No.
And if Brock came out all smiles, he might have the same impact. It's just you got to be mean. Right. And I feel like he could really fill that spot of like a Brock Lesnar type. We could build Lashley to be a monster without having the cost of a Brock Lesnar, I feel like. So.
I agree. And I think Roman said something during that whole promo that kind of caught me off guard. He said that 10 years ago, Lashley main evented WrestleMania. They're throwing around main event as a very, very loose term.
That's the thing. You're absolutely right. Because, I mean, we talked about WrestleMania 18 and how, the main event wasn't last. And, I think Chris Jericho and Triple H argued that they were the main events.
Yeah.
And, WrestleMania 7 had, or I'm sorry, 8, had the double main event and all this stuff. And I do feel like there can only be one main event.
I agree. If you are the main event, you are on last.
And I don't believe that Lashley and who was it, Umaga?
Yeah, with Vince and Trump. Yeah.
I don't believe that was the main event. Now, I will say this. I have a poster of WrestleMania. I believe it was 24.
It was 23.
23. Okay. So it was hanging in my apartment before I bought a house and stuff. And the most ink, the most real estate on that poster is for that match.
But
I agree.
Wasn't it Taker and Batista?
And that one
and Cena and Michaels.
But I don't even know what the match order was, but I know it wasn't Trump and Vince last.
No, they were not last. I think it was Cena and Michaels that was last.
And I want to say Orton had a match on there. Maybe I don't remember who all was on the poster. It's been a few years since I've seen the thing, but it was mostly Vince, Trump, Lashley, and Umaga. Yeah. And Austin, I believe, was the referee for that too. So he was on there too. But that got the most real estate on that poster. So I guess determining what is a main event,
they need to figure that out.
Well, and maybe, maybe the main event is the match that gets the most focus. I don't exactly know the answer to it. Maybe that was the main event. What was the main event of WrestleMania 18 in your opinion?
I mean, clearly it's Rock and Hogan. I mean, that's what everyone talks about.
So maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be the match that goes last, but in a perfect world, those things would probably be symbiotic.
I would assume so. Yeah.
What else happened last night? Well, I called this episode, Braun Strowman flips over Kevin Owens' car on Monday Night Raw.
He did that.
First of all,
although we didn't see it.
I'm kind of glad we didn't see it because every time we do see it, I get a really bad taste out of it.
Yeah.
Like when he tipped over the production truck, I took them to task just how over the top it was.
Oh, it was terrible.
So, and I do come from a let's treat wrestling as if it's real standpoint.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see that all the time. The way they did it worked perfectly for me last night.
It's comedic.
Exactly. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to see him tip over Kevin's car.
Right.
So I appreciated the way they told that story.
And I liked what they did with the tag team setup. Now, there were too many tag team matches on the card for my taste.
There were a lot of tag team matches. So the tag team division is in a pretty solid spot right now.
even though the tag team matches really didn't consist of any legit tag teams other than the Revival.
Don't forget the B. Well, the B team.
The B team did.
That was a singles match, though.
That was, yeah.
And the Leader of Worlds are doing fine for me. B team's doing fine for me. Revival seems to be on an upswing.
I hope they are. I hope they are.
I agree.
Really,
we saw Authors of Pain last night. We saw the great tag team of the Gibson brothers.
Oh man, I thought they were going over for sure.
Rich and Rex. I cannot believe that they did not get a win over AOP last night.
Hey, but congratulations on at least trying.
Did they not have the best jobber look ever?
Oh, the typical jobber.
The matching tights, the pot bellies, they just look like a jobber straight out of the 80s.
Brooklyn Brawler was very happy to see that, I'm sure.
So I love that. So hold on a second. Someone just sent me the WrestleMania 23 poster. Thank you, Benny. Okay, so yeah, so here it is. Let me show the camera first, then I'll show Travis. So as you can see, or can you see it?
I if you move it over a little bit.
All right, hold on.
There we go.
So
okay, I see it.
Half of the poster is dedicated to the one match, and then you got a quarter poster for each world title. So you could argue the main event for that show is the hair versus hair match. Boy, this looks like a lousy Mania.
Doesn't it?
Oh my God. Those 22 through like 29, man, are just a fuzz for me.
Oh man, no. 28 and 29 were two of my favorite WrestleManias. 28, I think 28 might have been one of the best.
28. What happened at 28?
What happened at 28?
Well, fill me in. Go ahead.
End of an era match.
Man, I don't love that match.
Rock Cena won.
Rock Cena 1 was good, but I mean, that's not
Punk Jericho.
Okay, no, this is not something. You're not winning me over here.
I mean, okay, maybe I'm a little biased because I went to those Manias.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
But I mean, I think that they did stand out. I mean, clearly, if you go back and you look at the Open for all the WWE programming, that sky view of WrestleMania 28 is still their main focus.
Beautiful venue. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The Great Pyro. Don't get me wrong. But not a whole lot of memories from 22 through 29 to me is a real low point in WrestleManias. But 30 picked things up again, and 21 is fantastic to me. But everything in between there, I could really pass on. I mean, not everything, but
I mean, yeah, there were a lot of matches I'm like, this really happened, but like Maria Menounos was in a WrestleMania match. Like, okay.
Wasn't Snooki in one of those WrestleManias?
Snooki what was 27? She was in 27 with Ziggler and was it Morrison and Trish?
Man, I was so uninterested in everything going on in wrestling as of like 2006.
Yeah, it was a bad time, but I'm glad to see they're picking it up. They're doing things a different way. It's a different era in wrestling now.
The only thing is, like, I feel like the WrestleManias are better, even like these past few that haven't been like great. It's like I still feel like they're better than the ones in the 20s, but I could do with an hour or two shorter on these Manias.
Yeah, and I think they're making all these pay-per-views now a little bit longer. But
yeah,
what Extreme Rules is the next one?
Extreme Rules is the next one.
We don't know if there's going to be a number one contender match or anything like that.
Yeah, we are in a real state of we don't know what's happening right now. But the thing is, Raw has angles, and that's what makes me happy. It's like there's story stuff going on.
Yeah, whereas SmackDown, I'm sure we'll get into this at a later time, but SmackDown, I feel like they waste so many good money matches on SmackDown.
Oh, Daniel Bryan, they're doing that week after week.
Bryan, they're doing it with Jeff Hardy and Nakamura. Like,
true.
Those are money matches. But as far as Raw goes, yeah, I'm excited to see where they go. And I saw something last night that I'm sure we'll get into it, but I was excited to see it happen finally.
Can I guess?
What?
I'm assuming, was it Sasha and Banks?
It was. I was so happy to see that side of Bayley come out.
Well, my only thing with what you're saying is I know something big happened last night. Didn't this kind of happen the week before?
It did, but not to the point where Bayley just clearly attacks her from behind and just goes crazy on her.
It did. This one did feel more special.
It did, because it was Bayley doing it. And Bayley, I mean, she's the hugger. She's the happy-go-lucky girl. You don't really see that fire in her that she can do. Now, where they go from here, I don't know. Are they going to make Bayley a heel? Are they going to make Sasha a heel?
I'm getting the vibe that Bayley's going to be the heel, which
I'm okay with that.
I actually think that's a mistake. I'm okay with it But if I were given the choice, I think Bailey's easier to like and Banks is easier to hate.
I agree. But I want to, maybe if they don't even make Bailey a heel, give her some more fire, some more fight, to make her not just a hugger, like a legit threat in the ring.
Make her a thugger.
Yeah, a thugger.
That would be that. Hey, I'm copywriting that one. I'm a thugger.
I'm a thugger. Thugging is my business, and business is good.
Like those Bailey buddies that inflate at the entranceway. If like they started having like headbands and tattoos,
pants down past their rear end.
Yeah, that would.
We have created something. WWE, do not steal that.
Or do it. Just make it entertaining, please. I'm a thugger. That awesome.
Is great.
So yeah, that did take off, and it seemed like, I thought it was weird verbiage from Kurt Angle. Like, this is your last chance to be friends. What a weird way to word this.
Yeah.
Like,
and then now they got to go to counseling. Like, look, I'm sorry. You did that once with Kane and Daniel Bryan. It somehow worked. I don't think it's going to work with Bailey and Sasha.
Is it Bailey and Sasha or just Bailey going to?
I don't know.
I thought I only remember.
Is it just Bailey?
I thought it might have just been Bailey. Oh. And I'm assuming that's going to lead to the heel turn.
And it very well might.
So
I wouldn't be surprised.
I also thought that, like, again, little threads, these little things can make me really happy, because you had Authors of Pain and they got kind of stopped by Titus Worldwide in the back.
Right.
And then that came into play later on in the night.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to go somewhere in the future. Like, even though, do I care about Authors of Pain versus Titus Worldwide? Not really.
That's why it's going to be a pre-show match.
But at least they're giving me a story.
They're giving you a story, and they're building up Authors of Pain, which I think they should, because they are a good contender in the tag team division.
Without their look by themselves, just their look alone,
yeah,
is enough for me to be like, I'm on board.
Yeah,
and I've seen enough of their NXT stuff to be like, yeah, these guys are great.
Oh, for sure.
By the way, you saw Takeover the past.
Oh
Takeover.
yeah,
was that not a killer show?
Oh my gosh,
was that not a killer show?
Did you happen to catch the beginning of Velveteen and Ricochet's match?
I mean, I watched the whole thing.
So did it look familiar to you?
What do you mean?
The beginning of their match? They totally recreated Rock's Hogan. When they do that stare off, they look this way, and then they look that way.
I didn't even think. Plus, he's dressed like Hogan.
Yeah, well, actually, his tights, Velveteen's tights, were Ricochet's whenever he was in Lucha. They were his Prince.
You're kidding me. You're blowing my mind.
No,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you're telling me those Hulk Hogan pants that Velveteen Dream was wearing actually belonged to Ricochet?
They belonged to Ricochet. Those were his Prince Puma pants. There's pictures of it online. You can see it.
I did not know that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm a big fan of this Velveteen Dream.
I'm surprised he's over as much as he is.
I'm a big fan of Ricochet.
Yeah.
I want to say that I thought that main event may have been 5 stars. By main event, I mean the match that went last.
According to Edge and Christian, it was a 5 Gargano match. They based it off Garganos instead of stars.
Well, I actually, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm a Ciampa guy.
I love what he's doing.
Dude, the little things, again, these little things can mean so much to me. But like when he spat on Gargano's wedding ring, I really love that he went over that night, because they were just so taking us
with the handcuffs even.
God, and that DDT onto the exposed wood. Like, man, I'm not typically a fan of the brawler style matches. There are examples of great ones. Like, for example, Austin and Hart, WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
I don't need a match to go into. When a match goes into the crowd, it adds no excitement to me.
Yeah.
But some people know how to do it right. And holy cow, do Gargano and Ciampa know how to do it right.
They killed it.
So I would say at this point in time, that is my match of the year. I feel like this rematch.
definitely a contender for sure.
So, and to be honest with you, my 3 matches of the year so far are all from NXT takeovers.
Yeah.
Because my second favorite match this year is the 6-person ladder match.
Yes.
And then Gargano Ciampa 1 from New Orleans.
Those were all great matches. Loved them all.
By the way, not only do I have an NXT shirt on the way for $4, I've got like a $2.50. Remember the original Nexus shirt?
Yeah.
That Wade Barrett used to wear?
Just the yellow square?
Yeah, with that black N on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got one of those coming my way.
Nice.
I'm saying $2.50 for one of those.
I'm gonna have to get on there and start looking.
So I was real proud of myself for that.
Speaking of something, I don't think maybe I missed it. Did Elias have anything on Raw this week?
I don't think he did. But that's okay. We don't need everybody every week.
But that's
I know he's one of your faves.
Well, yeah, but after the match he and Rollins had, now he's just nowhere to be found. Like, I thought maybe they would continue on that storyline.
I'm not interpreting him not being on the show last night as they don't have plans for him. I think he's okay.
They might not, but
I still think it was awesome. Last time he was in Evansville, you got a shout out.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe
do it again.
Maybe he'll do it again.
Are we getting interviews?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's SmackDown, so I'm trying to think it'll probably be someone like Becky Lynch.
The last 2 times wrestling came, you guys in GBF got interviews and we didn't on Kiss.
You didn't?
No, we didn't.
I mean, you can set in on my interview if you want, if we get another one.
Thanks. I'll wear
Fight for it, Rob.
Or my NXT shirt. And
there you go. Yeah.
Like you can let me sit in with you.
Well, last time, was it SmackDown? They had a big TV taping. It was when the New Day came in.
Yeah, for the last TV taping, we got New Day.
So I'm wondering if maybe they'll actually bring somebody in.
I'm hoping that will happen.
Yeah.
Because every TV tape we've gotten, because we had Christian for a SmackDown.
Yeah.
We had New Day for a SmackDown. What happened on Raw? We didn't get anyone for Raw.
I just got phoners.
Yeah, we got phoners. I remember Enzo called Cat on GBF.
Yeah, that was when Enzo and Cass broke up.
Can you believe that the one person from their trio that's still there is Carmella?
Carmella.
Isn't that crazy?
And she's on fire.
The more and more I'm learning about this Cass situation, it's crazy. But you know what? I'll tell you, I'm assuming you probably read the stuff that I've read about Cass. Let's get that tomorrow for the SmackDown recap. So what else? Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say about Raw. I guess 2 more things. One was, if you still have your show DVR and you want something funny to go back and look at, remember when the Riot Squad broke the camera?
Yes.
From the Jinder Mahal photo shoot. The best thing happening in that shot, I don't know if people were paying attention to this. Watch the cameraman. He doesn't have any idea what to do, and he's clearly not an actor. So he is reacting so strangely. Take it from a wrestling is real vantage point. If like someone just broke your camera in front of you, you'd probably be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
This guy has no idea what to do because it's supposed to happen, but it's not supposed to happen kind of thing.
Right.
Watch the cameraman be just confused as all hell.
I gotta check him out.
When the Riot Squad breaks his camera. And then I made a note that I'm very excited that it looks like Owens and Strowman are being programmed together. I wish they would have given them a few weeks as like these frenemies kind of thing.
Yeah.
I felt like what they had last night was unique in that Kevin is terrified of Strowman and Strowman wants to be friends.
Do you think it's going to be something where they're pairing them together, or they're just going to have a feud?
No, I'm saying I wish they would have been paired together. I think they're going right to the feud.
Yeah.
And I think that pairing them together would have been a cool move.
Oh, okay. That match though, when Braun does his typical run around the ring and tackle everybody, and then Kevin does, it's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying.
They're dynamic. It's
right.
Good.
That's what I'm saying. And then it's worth noting, even though not a whole lot of note happened, the main event was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Rollins. Now, okay, the thing with that is they're doing stuff that they used to do back in the day. They brought Roman out for that. Now Roman's currently having this little feud with Lashley, but now he's involved in this feud with Ziggler and McIntyre and Rollins. So they're having multiple storylines for one single superstar, and they haven't really done that in a while.
So you're talking about Rollins here specifically?
I'm talking about Reigns being involved in that now.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what they're doing because I feel like they might be wanting to go back to the Shield because Ambrose is not far from a return. He's already, my understanding, is in the ring at the Performance Center getting ready. And they got the IC strap off of Rollins.
Right.
And Reigns is kind of biding his time since he's not in that huge multi-person match at Extreme Rules.
Who does Shield take on?
I feel like with the way things are right now, it could be anybody.
The Riot Squad. Just makes sense. 3-on-3.
And with that, that's called an out in radio.
Got him.
The Shield taking on the Riot Squad in a multi-person match. For myself, the Rob, and my tag team partner, Travis, you're going to join me again tomorrow?
Yeah.
For SmackDown recap. We'll also bring it to speed on that. There's been a whole lot coming out about Cass's behavior over the weeks leading up to his demise from WWE. We'll bring you speed on that.
Speaking of that, Enzo Amore is on Stone Cold's podcast this week, clearing the air.
I did not know that.
He is. So Just giving you a heads up on that.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we'll give you all the news that we can tomorrow right here on Post to Post. Thanks, Travis.